Students, I'm going to present today a little bit of information about cause and effect essays, which is the first type of essay that we will write for this class. As you have already known, that academic essays have several important parts. Academic essays start with an introduction that has a thesis as the last sentence. They have 3 body paragraphs that begin a topic sentence, and inside the body paragraphs, there's support like examples, details, facts, and quotes. And finally, academic essays finish with a concluding paragraph. So today I'm going to tell you information about cause and effect essays that make them a little bit different, but mostly the same as a regular academic essay. So let's start by looking at causes. Causes are the reasons why something happens. They answer the question, why? Another vocabulary word that refers to causes is factors. So always remember that causes explain why something happens, and causes happen before the actual event, whatever that actual event is. So let's look at an example to make this clearer. This is an example of a cause essay topic. The cause essay topic says, what are the factors in high rates of car use in North America? So here you can see several different regions of the world, North America, Middle East, Europe, Latin America, Asia, and Africa. And you can see how many trips are taken by car in North America compared to other parts of the world. So it might be pretty shocking. This question is asking, what are the factors? Let's say it a few different ways. What are the reasons why people use so many cars in North America? Or we could just ask, why do many people in North America use cars? Think about that for a few minutes. Why do you think that many people in North America use cars? Maybe you were surprised when you first came here at how important it is to have a car. Okay? So some of the reasons that I noted here are there's a very large distances in North America, especially the United States, Canada are very large countries. There's a lot of distance that needs to be covered. Another reason why use of car rates might be high is the power of the car companies. So car companies in the United States have a lot of political power, actually, and sometimes they influence government policies that continue car use. We are also lacking infrastructure. So lacking means we don't have infrastructure, means equipment or systems, right? Like for trains or things like that. So these are some of the factors or reasons that help us to analyze a topic. Let's now look at the other side, which is effects. You can see a diagram here that sort of gives you the idea that effects happen after. And of course, causes and effects are related, okay? But effects have many different vocabulary words that mean the same effect. Some of them are results, consequences, impacts, outcomes. Advantages or benefits are positive effects, and disadvantages are negative effects. So let's take an example topic that basically asks a similar question. What are the results of the high rates of car use in North America? So in the first question, we thought about the reasons. We analyzed what happened before that caused many people to use cars, and now we're thinking about the results, the effects, what happens after people are using cars. So think about that for a few moments and see what types of ideas you might come up with. So here I have written 3 different choices, or 3 different ideas that might be some of the results. Traffic is a big result. There's a lot of traffic. Environmental issues or pollution, might be another result. Another result might be that people who don't drive cars are lacking. Again, that means they do not have, they're lacking transportation options. So sometimes people who do not have a car can be stuck, right? So hopefully that gives you an idea of how causes and effects are related, but how would we analyze them differently in an essay? So in an essay, we might have an essay that is about a cause or an effect. And how would you make the cause? How would you show a cause or effect essay? The most important way is to focus on causes and effects in the thesis and in the topic sentence. So how would you do something like this? You have a tool which is in your pack, which is called sentence frames. The first example of sentence frames are cause. You can see some of the cause vocabulary, and then you would see some thesis frames and topic sentence frames. So what's a frame? This is an example of a picture frame. Okay, maybe show here. Okay, this is an example of a picture frame. I'll show you another one. Here's an example of a picture frame. Okay, this is a small silver picture frame. Inside, I have an old picture of me and my sister. Okay, you might have the similar picture frame in your house, but it would be different because you will not have a picture of me and my sister. That would be weird. You would have a picture of you, your family, or something that was important to you in your life, right? So the same goes with these sentences. These are tools that you can borrow and put your own information to make them your own. So, for example, if you want to write a thesis with causes about high use of cars, you could say there are 3 reasons why many people in the United States use cars. Okay, or there are 3 factors in the high rates of car usage in North America. Say it in many different ways. This is just the beginning to help you build your sentence. Okay? The same is true for the cause topic sentence frame. When you would write topic sentences, you would say one reason for high rates of car use is the power of the auto industry in the United States. Another factor in the high rates of car use is that distances are very long in the United States. So this is the cause sheet. You have a similar sheet for effects, and that you could also use some of these frames. So now I'm going to show you how you will accomplish your first assignment, which is to write an essay outline. All right, so let's view the steps to create an outline. Step 1 would be to choose a topic. The topics that are in this presentation can be used. Also, the topics are posted on Blackboard. I'm not going to show them there, but you can look at them on Blackboard and you know where those topics are. Okay? Step 2 is to brainstorm. There are many different ways to brainstorm, and I've provided some videos in extra materials that can show you a little bit more about how to brainstorm. But I am going to show you one way that you can brainstorm that's especially effective for cause and effect. So let me just switch over to this location. So this is a tool that we have for brainstorming, and you have this brainstorming tool also. I would suggest that you, if you use this brainstorming tool, you don't need to try to turn it into me because it's a little bit hard to type on it or print on it. I have it as a PDF that I'm going to kind of type on here, but you will see it's a little bit awkward. It doesn't work that well. So let's just say that if I were you, I would print it or draw something like this on a paper and just do it by hand. Okay, so I'm going to write about the effects of dependence cars in the U.S. So I'm going to write the effects of it. What are the results of many people using cars in the United States? So we already mentioned a few of these, but let's just see how we could do this by brainstorming. Okay, so I think the first one that we mentioned, I'm just going to change the color, but of course you don't have to do that, okay? The first one that I'm going to mention is traffic. Okay, so one big effect of everyone having a car, a big effect that happens a lot is traffic. Okay, so let me just now think a little bit more about traffic. What's the problem with traffic? Like, why is it bad? Okay, so one problem with traffic is the time. Okay, so it could take a long time to get to work or do daily errands, jobs that we need to do. Okay, another problem is it can also, a lot of people being dependent on cars and traffic taking a long time, it could also affect like the tourism. Okay, for example, if people visit New York, they don't want to drive because it's very bad traffic in New York. Um, and and maybe some people just decide not to go to New York. That's just an example, okay? What's another problem that we might have with traffic is like inconvenience. Kind of messes up our day, let's say. Okay, let's do another one. Why would it be inconvenient? Okay, maybe sometimes people get angry or get even like road rage, right? They get so tired of being stuck in traffic. They feel really frustrated. Also, and they might get angry at somebody else, or it might just sort of lead to almost like depression. Okay, if somebody is driving a lot, they just want to get home to be with their family, that it could kind of have negative effects on their mental health. So by brainstorming in this way, I came up with one big idea that would probably be what I would write my topic sentence about. Then I came up with some minor supporting ideas and details. Those will help me write my body paragraphs when it's time to do that. Okay? So in each section, I could brainstorm about a different point. Okay, maybe let's go back over here, sorry. All right, let's say here I'm going to talk about money, the cost. Okay, I could do a whole part about money here and why, how the dependence on cars affects people financially. Okay, I could do another one about the environment, right, and some of the environmental effects. Okay. And maybe if I wanted to, let's see, maybe if I wanted to, I could even think about a positive effect. Okay, a positive effect is that it's very convenient or independent. People have a lot of independence when they have cars. Okay, so, which I know is a little bit anyway. So maybe I want to think about writing something positive about always having cars. Maybe I want to write like it's so much fun to have a car. Cars are so cool. They go fast. You don't have to wait for the bus. You don't have to wait for anybody else, right? You can go where you want to go at the time that you want to go and just have a great time. Yeah, so this is an example of how we could brainstorm. Let me pop back over to my presentation and just tell you where we were at. So while we're looking at those, so we kind of brainstormed a little bit, and you saw that on my brainstorming, where we were brainstorming, guys, we had 4 points, but we only really need 3 points in our essay. Okay, so what I do next is I would get ready to do my outline. This is the part that I do need to turn in. Okay, so for my outline, I could look at my effects sentence frames to say, being dependent on cars has affected the United States in 3 ways. Okay, or I could say car dependence is responsible for, several different outcomes. Okay, and then I only need to do 3 topic sentences, so I could choose from here which were my best 3 that I wanted to write. Okay, then I could add my details